Have you ever felt that someone close to you might not have your best interests at heart? In today's video, we're diving into the shocking spiritual truth about secret hatred, drawing insights from the brilliant mind of Carl Jung. This isn't just gossip. Understanding these hidden dynamics can change the way you view your relationships. Why is this important? Because recognizing who truly supports you versus who secretly resents you can protect your emotional well-being and help you foster healthier connections. By the end of this video, you'll gain powerful insights that not only reveal the signs of hidden animosity, but also equip you with tools to navigate these tricky waters. Get ready to uncover the truth that could transform your life and relationships. So, stick around. What you learn today might just surprise you. Secret hatred often lurks beneath the surface of our interactions, veiled in a deceptive cloak of friendliness. It's a complex emotional landscape that can leave us feeling confused and drained, even when we're surrounded by those we consider friends. Understanding this silent animosity is crucial for protecting our emotional well-being. Imagine a moment in your life when you shared a heartfelt story with someone, only to later realize they were subtly undermining your confidence. That feeling of betrayal is a hallmark of secret hatred, where the facade of support masks deeper, more destructive feelings. Many people may wonder why this hidden animosity exists. It often stems from jealousy, unresolved conflicts, or insecurities. Picture this. Someone who has always struggled with their self-esteem may view your successes as a threat rather than an inspiration. Instead of celebrating your achievements, they may harbor feelings of resentment, leading to a dynamic where they seem supportive on the outside but harbor negativity within. This internal conflict creates a breeding ground for secret hatred, which can manifest in subtle yet damaging ways. Recognizing secret hatred is not always straightforward. It requires a keen awareness of the discrepancies between words and actions. For example, consider a colleague who praises your work in a meeting, but later makes disparaging remarks in private conversations. These contradictions are often the first signs of hidden animosity. You might hear backhanded compliments like, "You did a great job for someone with your experience," which can leave you questioning their true feelings. By paying attention to these inconsistencies, you can start to uncover the underlying dynamics at play. As we delve deeper into the signs of secret hatred, it's essential to remember that these behaviors can be subtle. The passive-aggressive comments, the seemingly innocuous jokes at your expense, they all contribute to a toxic atmosphere that drains your energy. Imagine being in a social setting where laughter fills the room, but you feel a heaviness in your chest. This discomfort is often a signal that something is amiss. The energy you expend trying to decipher someone's true intentions can leave you feeling exhausted and confused. Ignoring these signs can have severe consequences. Toxic relationships often spiral into emotional turmoil, leading to stress, anxiety, and even depression. Think about a scenario where you've placed your trust in someone, only to discover their duplicity. The emotional fallout can be devastating, shaking your confidence and altering your perception of trust. This betrayal can reverberate through your life, affecting not just that specific relationship, but also your ability to connect with others. Recognizing this potential fallout is crucial for your mental health and emotional safety. So, how do you protect yourself from the corrosive effects of secret hatred? The first step is to build awareness. Cultivate an understanding of how you feel in the presence of certain individuals. Do they uplift you, or do you leave feeling drained? Learning to listen to your emotions is a powerful tool. Consider keeping a journal where you can jot down your feelings after interactions. Over time, patterns may emerge, revealing those who contribute positively to your life versus those who bring negativity. Creating boundaries is another essential strategy. Assertive communication allows you to distance yourself from toxic influences without resorting to confrontation. For instance, if a friend consistently makes you feel inadequate, it's okay to limit your time with them or express your discomfort with their comments. Boundaries are not walls. They are protective measures that help you maintain your emotional health. You deserve to surround yourself with people who honor and respect your feelings. What if the source of negativity is someone you genuinely care about? This situation can be particularly challenging. Navigating relationships with hidden animosity requires courage and honesty. Consider having an open conversation about your feelings. Frame it as an opportunity to strengthen your bond rather than a confrontation. For example, you might say, "I value our friendship, but lately, I felt some tension between us. Can we talk about it?" This approach invites dialogue and understanding, helping to create a space for healing. However, be prepared for a range of reactions. Some may deny their behavior or become defensive. This response can be disheartening, making you question your instincts. But remember, your feelings are valid, and acknowledging them is the first step toward change. As you navigate these conversations, you might find clarity about whether the relationship is worth saving. Ask yourself if the dynamic fosters growth or if it perpetuates a cycle of negativity. Reflecting on this balance is vital for your emotional health. In evaluating the worth of relationships, consider the emotional exchange at play. Does this relationship uplift you, or does it drag you down? A healthy relationship should feel like a partnership, where both individuals contribute to each other's well-being. If it feels one-sided, it may be time to reassess your connection. Recognizing when to let go can be one of the most empowering decisions you make. It's not about abandoning someone. It's about prioritizing your mental health. Letting go is often accompanied by a mix of emotions: sadness, relief, and even fear. Acknowledge these feelings. They are part of the healing process. Create a plan for distancing yourself gradually. Perhaps you'll limit your interactions or set clear boundaries. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who uplift you. This transition can be challenging, but it's essential for fostering a healthier emotional landscape. Finding supportive connections is crucial. Engage with communities that align with your values and interests. Whether it's joining a club, taking up a new hobby, or participating in online forums, seek out environments where you feel valued and appreciated. By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you can create a nurturing environment that fosters growth and resilience. As we conclude this exploration of secret hatred, reflect on your relationships. Are they nurturing your growth or holding you back? Understanding these dynamics empowers you to cultivate healthier connections. Remember, you have the agency to shape your emotional landscape. By acknowledging the signs of hidden animosity and taking proactive steps to protect your well-being, you can create a life filled with positive, uplifting relationships. Hidden animosity can often lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly supportive relationships, manifesting in ways that may not be immediately apparent. This concept is crucial to understand because recognizing the signs of hidden animosity can save us from emotional turmoil and toxic relationships. One of the most telling signs is the inconsistency between a person's words and actions. Imagine a friend who publicly praises your accomplishments, showering you with compliments in front of others, yet privately makes snide remarks that undermine your confidence. This duality can leave you feeling confused and questioning your self-worth. It's essential to trust your instincts. If something feels off, it often is. Passive-aggressive behavior is another red flag. For instance, consider a colleague who, instead of addressing issues directly, makes sarcastic comments or engages in backhanded compliments. "Wow, you really managed to pull that off despite how little time you had," they might say, leaving you wondering whether to feel praised or insulted. Such comments can create a toxic atmosphere, fostering insecurity and self-doubt. The emotional weight of these interactions can be draining, leading to a cycle of questioning your relationships and feeling isolated. Moreover, the effects of ignoring these signs can be profound. Picture a scenario where you've invested time and energy into a friendship, only to discover that the person has been speaking negatively about you behind your back. This betrayal can lead to feelings of hurt and confusion, making it difficult to trust others in the future. Over time, these relationships can sap your energy, leaving you feeling emotionally exhausted. It's vital to recognize that ignoring these signs doesn't make them go away. Instead, it often exacerbates the problem, leading to deeper emotional scars. As we dive deeper into this topic, let's consider the journey of Sarah, a bright and ambitious young woman who found herself in a friendship that seemed perfect at first. Sarah had always been a supportive friend, cheering on her peers and celebrating their successes. However, she began to notice subtle shifts in her friendship with Lisa, someone she had known for years. While Lisa would often boast about their connection and praise Sarah's achievements publicly, Sarah felt an unsettling tension whenever they were alone. Lisa would make comments like, "I guess you got lucky with that promotion," or "It must be nice to have everything handed to you." These remarks felt like tiny daggers, slowly chipping away at Sarah's self-esteem. As Sarah's feelings of unease grew, she started to evaluate her interactions with Lisa. She realized that their conversations left her feeling drained rather than uplifted. The inconsistency between Lisa's public persona and private comments was a classic sign of hidden animosity. This internal conflict prompted Sarah to reflect on her relationship with Lisa and the toll it was taking on her emotional well-being. Now, you might be wondering, how do we identify these signs in our own lives? One effective method is to keep a journal of your interactions. After spending time with someone, jot down your feelings and any comments that stood out to you, both positive and negative. Over time, patterns may emerge, helping you to see whether the relationship is genuinely supportive or if it's laced with hidden animosity. This practice not only enhances self-awareness, but also provides clarity on how certain individuals impact your emotional state. It's also important to remember that recognizing hidden animosity is not about turning every interaction into a high-stakes evaluation. It's more about being mindful of how certain relationships affect your mental health. Ask yourself, do I feel uplifted and energized after spending time with this person? Or do I leave feeling drained and uncertain? Trusting your gut can be a powerful tool in navigating these complex dynamics. Transitioning from recognizing signs to addressing them can be challenging, especially when the person exhibiting hidden animosity is someone close to you. In Sarah's case, she chose to confront Lisa, framing the conversation as an opportunity for growth rather than an accusation. "I've noticed some comments that seem a bit off, and I wanted to talk about how we can make our friendship stronger," she said, approaching the discussion with vulnerability and openness. This approach can sometimes disarm defensiveness and open the door to a more honest dialogue. However, it's crucial to prepare for various reactions. Lisa, feeling cornered, initially denied any ill intent, insisting she was just joking. This moment was pivotal for Sarah. She had to decide whether to continue investing in this relationship or to protect her emotional health. Evaluating the worth of a relationship requires honesty with oneself. Does this friendship uplift you or weigh you down? If the latter, it may be time to consider your options. As we reflect on the signs of hidden animosity, it's essential to understand that acknowledging these signs is the first step towards emotional liberation. Ignoring them can lead to a pattern of toxic relationships that drain your energy and hinder your personal growth. By recognizing the inconsistencies, passive-aggressive comments, and emotional toll of certain interactions, you can make empowered choices about the connections in your life. The journey towards healthier relationships begins with self-awareness and the courage to address what you notice. Embracing this process can transform your emotional landscape, allowing you to cultivate connections that genuinely support and uplift you. The path may be challenging, but the rewards of surrounding yourself with positive influences far outweigh the discomfort of addressing hidden animosity. Your emotional well-being is worth the effort, and with each step you take, you move closer to a life filled with nurturing relationships. So, as you navigate your own path, remember to trust your instincts, honor your feelings, and take action towards fostering connections that enrich your life. Ignoring signs of hidden animosity can lead to significant emotional turmoil, often manifesting in toxic relationships that sap your energy and affect your mental health. Picture this. You have a close friend who always seems to cheer you on in public, but in private, makes snide remarks that leave you feeling belittled. At first, you may brush off these comments, attributing them to a bad day or a misunderstanding. However, over time, this pattern can erode your self-esteem and create a toxic dynamic that can be difficult to escape. Consider the story of Sarah, a vibrant young woman who had a group of friends she believed were genuinely supportive. They would share laughs and celebrate each other's successes. Yet, when Sarah would share her dreams, one friend in particular would often downplay her aspirations with comments like, "That's nice, but don't get your hopes up." Initially, Sarah shrugged it off, thinking her friend was just being realistic. However, after a while, she began to feel increasingly disheartened and anxious whenever they met. The inconsistency between her friend's public praise and private criticism created a rift that left Sarah questioning her worth. The consequences of ignoring hidden hatred can escalate quickly. Toxic relationships like these can lead to a cycle of self-doubt, anxiety, and even depression. For instance, research shows that maintaining relationships with negative influences can increase stress levels and lead to a decline in overall mental health. When Sarah finally took a step back and analyzed her friendship, she realized that the emotional drain was not worth the fleeting moments of joy. This moment of clarity is crucial. Understanding how these dynamics affect you is the first step towards healing. But how can one protect themselves from this emotional turmoil? The journey begins with awareness. It's essential to pay attention to your feelings when you're around certain individuals. Are you often left feeling energized or depleted? Recognizing these emotional responses can be a powerful tool in identifying toxic influences. For Sarah, this meant reflecting on how she felt. After spending time with her friend, the realization that she often left their meetings feeling low was a pivotal moment for her. Creating boundaries is another critical strategy to shield yourself from negativity. Setting boundaries does not mean you have to confront someone aggressively. Instead, it can involve assertive communication. For example, if a friend makes a backhanded compliment, you could respond with, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm happy with where I'm at." This approach allows you to address the negativity without escalating the situation. Sarah found that when she began to assert herself more, her friend's comments diminished over time, as if the friend didn't enjoy being challenged. However, what if the source of negativity is someone you genuinely care about? Navigating these relationships can be exceptionally tricky. Sarah faced a dilemma when she realized her friend's hidden animosity was impacting her life. She loved this friend, but was torn between loyalty and self-preservation. The key here is to approach such conversations with an open heart and mind, framing them as an opportunity for growth rather than an accusation. When Sarah mustered the courage to talk to her friend, she started by expressing her appreciation for their relationship. "I value our friendship, and I want to ensure we're both supporting each other," she said. This framing helped soften the conversation, making it less confrontational. However, it's important to be prepared for potential denial or defensiveness. People may not always be aware of their hidden animosity or may not want to acknowledge it. As you navigate these conversations, it's crucial to evaluate whether the relationship is worth saving. Ask yourself if this friendship uplifts you or brings you down. Reflect on the balance of give and take. A healthy relationship should foster growth and positivity. For Sarah, the balance became clear during her conversations with her friend. When she saw that her friend was unwilling to acknowledge the negativity, it became easier for her to decide if the relationship was worth the effort. If you realize that letting go is necessary, remember that this process can be challenging, especially if you've invested a significant amount of emotional energy in the relationship. Acknowledge your feelings of sadness or loss. It's natural to feel this way. Sarah found it helpful to create a plan for gradually distancing herself from the toxic influences in her life. She surrounded herself with new friends who genuinely supported her and encouraged her dreams, creating a positive feedback loop that reinforced her self-worth. Ultimately, the path to healing begins with recognizing and addressing hidden animosity in relationships. By building awareness, creating boundaries, and engaging in open conversations, you can protect your emotional well-being. Remember, the goal is to cultivate connections that uplift you. As you work to distance yourself from toxic influences, you can also focus on finding communities that share your values and interests. Imagine the transformation that can occur when you surround yourself with positive influences. The contrast is stark, from feeling drained and anxious to feeling empowered and supported. This journey may be difficult, but the rewards are profound. You will not only improve your mental health, but you will also foster deeper, more meaningful connections with those who truly care about you. Reflect on this. Are your relationships nurturing your growth or holding you back? By understanding the dynamics of hidden hatred and taking proactive steps to protect yourself, You can cultivate a life filled with positivity and support. As you navigate this process, remember that each step forward is a step towards a brighter, more fulfilling future. Navigating the complexities of emotional interactions can be daunting, especially when faced with individuals who harbor hidden animosity. To protect your emotional well-being, building awareness is crucial. This means tuning in to how you feel in the presence of certain individuals. Are you left feeling energized or drained? Pay attention to these emotional cues, as they can provide vital insight into the dynamics of your relationships. Imagine a scenario where you have a friend, Sarah, who always seems cheerful and supportive. However, after spending time with her, you feel inexplicably exhausted and on edge. Recognizing this feeling is the first step towards understanding the dynamics at play. It's like receiving a warning signal from your emotional radar, indicating that something isn't quite right. This awareness allows you to take proactive measures to protect yourself. Creating boundaries is the next step in safeguarding your emotional health. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that help you define what is acceptable behavior from others. By establishing these limits, you communicate to others how you wish to be treated. For instance, if Sarah often makes backhanded comments that leave you questioning her sincerity, it's essential to address this directly. You might say, "I appreciate your feedback, but I find some of your comments a bit hurtful. I'd prefer if we could focus on more positive exchanges." This approach not only asserts your needs but also opens the door for a healthier dialogue. However, what if the source of negativity is someone you genuinely care about? This situation can be particularly challenging. Consider the story of Mark, who found himself in a similar predicament with his childhood friend Jason. Mark valued their long-standing friendship, but felt increasingly uncomfortable due to Jason's constant criticism, masked as playful teasing. Mark recognized that the emotional toll was affecting his self-esteem, leading to anxiety in social situations. In navigating this tricky terrain, Mark decided to have an open conversation with Jason. He framed it positively, expressing his desire to strengthen their friendship rather than accusing Jason of wrongdoing. Mark said, "I cherish our friendship, but I've been feeling a bit discouraged by our recent interactions. I value your opinion, but I'd appreciate it if we could communicate in a more supportive way." This moment became a turning point, allowing Jason to reflect on his behavior and the impact it had on Mark. Yet, emotional conversations can lead to denial or defensiveness. It's essential to prepare yourself for this possibility. If Jason had brushed off Mark's concerns with a flippant remark, Mark would need to decide if the friendship was worth the effort. This brings us to the next step: evaluating the worth of your relationships. Reflecting on your relationships involves asking yourself critical questions. Does this connection uplift you or drag you down? For instance, after engaging with Sarah, do you feel inspired and motivated, or do you leave feeling defeated and overlooked? A healthy relationship should foster growth and positivity, acting as a source of strength rather than a drain on your resources. If it feels one-sided, it may be time to reassess its value in your life. Mark faced this evaluation as well. After his conversation with Jason, he realized that while he valued their history, the friendship no longer provided the support he needed. It was a difficult realization, but Mark understood that sometimes letting go is essential for personal growth. He made a plan to distance himself gradually, ensuring he surrounded himself with friends who genuinely cared for his well-being. Letting go can be one of the most challenging aspects of emotional self-care. It often involves acknowledging feelings of sadness or loss, which can feel overwhelming. But it's important to remember that moving on is a sign of strength, not failure. Mark began by allowing himself to feel the emotions associated with stepping back from the friendship. He sought support from other friends who uplifted him, creating a safety net during this transition. To find those supportive connections, consider engaging in communities that resonate with your values and interests. Join local clubs, volunteer organizations, or online groups where you can meet like-minded individuals. Building these new relationships requires effort, but the rewards are profound. Surrounding yourself with people who genuinely appreciate and support you can transform your emotional landscape. As you cultivate healthier connections, practice gratitude. Express appreciation towards those who uplift you. This act fosters deeper bonds and reinforces positive interactions. It's like watering a plant. The more you nurture it, the more it flourishes. For instance, if you have a friend who always encourages you, take a moment to tell them how much their support means to you. This simple act can enhance your connection and create a ripple effect of positivity. Ultimately, the goal is to surround yourself with influences that enhance your life rather than hinder it. Reflect on your relationships regularly. Are they nurturing your growth or holding you back? By actively engaging in this process, you take ownership of your emotional well-being. Navigating relationships riddled with hidden animosity is undoubtedly challenging, but it also offers an opportunity for profound personal growth. By building awareness, creating boundaries, and evaluating the worth of your connections, you empower yourself to cultivate healthier relationships. Letting go of toxic influences paves the way for new, uplifting connections that enhance your life. Remember, it's not just about surviving these dynamics. It's about thriving and ensuring that your emotional well-being takes precedence. As you embark on this journey, keep in mind the transformative power of fostering positive relationships and take the steps necessary to protect your emotional health. Navigating relationships with negative influences can be one of the most challenging aspects of maintaining your emotional well-being. It's not uncommon to find ourselves in situations where someone close to us exhibits hidden animosity, often cloaked in a guise of friendship. To illustrate this, consider the story of Lisa, who had a friend named Sarah. On the surface, Sarah was always cheerful and supportive, but Lisa began to notice that after spending time with her, she often felt drained and anxious. This subtle shift in energy is a hallmark of hidden animosity, and it's crucial to recognize when we're faced with such dynamics. When we talk about navigating these troubled waters, the first step is to address the elephant in the room: communication. Engaging in an open conversation about your feelings can be daunting, especially when discussing sensitive topics like animosity. However, having this dialogue is essential for moving forward. Lisa decided to take the plunge. She approached Sarah, framing the conversation not as an accusation, but as an opportunity to strengthen their friendship. "I value our friendship, and I've felt a bit off lately. Can we talk about it?" This approach opened the door for honest dialogue, helping both of them express their feelings without escalating tension. This leads us to a critical point: how to conduct this conversation effectively. It is vital to create a safe space where both parties can express their thoughts openly. Use I statements instead of you accusations to prevent the other person from feeling attacked. For example, saying, "I feel uncomfortable when," rather than "you always make me feel," can significantly change the tone of the conversation. This technique not only helps in reducing defensiveness, but also encourages empathy. It allows Sarah to understand Lisa's perspective without putting her guard up. However, be prepared for various reactions. Sometimes the person may become defensive or deny any wrongdoing, which can be frustrating. It's important to remain calm and composed during this process. If Sarah reacted defensively, Lisa could still stand her ground by saying, "I understand this may be hard to hear, but I just want us to be able to support each other. How can we fix this?" This reframing helps keep the dialogue constructive rather than confrontational. Now you might wonder how to determine whether the relationship is worth saving, especially if the feelings of animosity persist despite your efforts to communicate. This is where self-reflection becomes essential. Ask yourself, does this relationship uplift you or drag you down? Reflect on the balance of give and take. Healthy relationships should foster growth, positivity, and support. If you consistently feel drained after interactions, it may indicate that the relationship leans heavily to one side. Let's delve deeper into the concept of balance in relationships. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and support. It should feel like a partnership where both individuals contribute positively to each other's lives. Think of it as a scale. On one side, you have support, encouragement, and joy. On the other, resentment, negativity, and emotional fatigue. If the scale is tipped too far toward negativity, it's time to reevaluate the relationship's value in your life. Lisa eventually realized that her friendship with Sarah was becoming more of a burden than a blessing. Despite her attempts to communicate, Sarah continued to dismiss Lisa's feelings. This realization was painful. For Lisa, But it led her to an important decision: to let go. Letting go of a relationship, especially one that has been significant, is never easy. It requires courage and self-acceptance. Lisa began by acknowledging her feelings of loss, but also recognized that moving on was necessary for her emotional health. Creating a plan for distancing oneself from a toxic relationship is crucial. It doesn't mean cutting ties abruptly, which can cause more emotional turmoil. Instead, Lisa decided to gradually reduce her interactions with Sarah. She started to engage more with friends who uplifted her, surrounding herself with positive influences. This change not only helped her heal, but also opened her eyes to the importance of nurturing supportive relationships. In the process of letting go, you might wonder how to find those supportive connections. This is where cultivating healthy connections comes into play. Engage in communities that resonate with your values and interests. Join clubs, attend workshops, or participate in activities that excite you. When you surround yourself with people who share similar passions, you naturally foster deeper connections. This is reminiscent of the adage, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Uplifting and positive individuals can significantly enhance your life experience. Moreover, practicing gratitude can transform your perspective on relationships. By expressing appreciation for those who genuinely support you, you reinforce positive interactions and cultivate deeper connections. This practice not only nurtures your existing relationships, but also builds a foundation for new, healthier ones. As we wrap up this exploration of navigating relationships with negative influences, consider the journey Lisa undertook. She started with a sense of unease and confusion, faced the discomfort of honest communication, and ultimately emerged stronger and more self-aware. The transformation wasn't just about distancing herself from negativity. It was about embracing a new chapter filled with supportive connections that nourished her growth. Remember, the goal is to surround yourself with relationships that uplift you and enhance your life. Reflect on your experiences. Are your relationships nurturing your growth or holding you back? By recognizing hidden animosity and taking proactive steps to address it, you empower yourself to cultivate the emotional well-being you deserve. As you navigate these complex dynamics, know that you are not alone, and the journey toward healthier connections is always within your reach. Recognizing the worth of relationships can be one of the most crucial steps in maintaining your emotional health. It's essential to pause and evaluate whether the people in your life are uplifting you or pulling you down. This introspection can be transformative and liberating. Imagine waking up every day feeling energized and supported by those around you. Now, consider the opposite scenario, feeling drained and undervalued by the very people you once considered close. This stark contrast provides a powerful motivation to assess the dynamics of your relationships. Evaluating a relationship requires a clear lens. Start by asking yourself some fundamental questions. Does this relationship contribute to your growth, or does it foster negativity? Reflect on how interactions make you feel. For instance, think about a friend who always seems to bring up your past mistakes, or a colleague who never acknowledges your contributions. These moments can accumulate and create a sense of emotional burden. In a healthy relationship, both parties should feel valued and appreciated, creating a balance of give and take. Let's dive deeper into this idea of balance. Picture a seesaw. If one side is constantly heavier, it becomes unbalanced and dysfunctional. Similarly, in relationships, if one person is always giving, while the other is always taking, resentment can build. A real-life example might be a friendship where one person is always there to listen, support, and help, while the other only reaches out when they need something. Over time, this imbalance can lead to feelings of exploitation and hurt. As you reflect, consider how much effort you invest in nurturing the relationship compared to what you receive in return. If you find that you are always the one initiating plans, offering support, and making sacrifices, it may be time to reevaluate. A healthy relationship should feel reciprocal, where both individuals contribute to the emotional bank account. When one person withdraws more than they deposit, the account eventually runs dry, leading to dissatisfaction and emotional fatigue. Now, let's explore what it means to let go of relationships that aren't serving you well. This process can sound daunting, especially when significant emotional investments are involved. However, letting go is often a necessary step for personal growth. Think of it as pruning a plant. You remove the dead or unhealthy parts to allow the plant to flourish. Similarly, disengaging from toxic relationships can create space for new, healthier connections to blossom. When you decide it's time to let go, start by acknowledging your feelings. It's natural to feel a mix of sadness, relief, or even guilt. Allow yourself to process these emotions. Remember, it is okay to prioritize your mental health. A powerful story that illustrates this point involves a woman named Sarah. For years, Sarah had a friend who was critical and dismissive. Although they shared many memories, Sarah realized that every interaction left her feeling small and unworthy. After much contemplation, she decided to distance herself. Initially, it was painful, but over time, she began to feel lighter and more confident. This newfound clarity opened her to relationships that uplifted her, ultimately enhancing her well-being. As you consider the relationships in your life, you might wonder how to approach the conversation about letting go. It's crucial to communicate your feelings, honestly but gently. You can express how the relationship has affected you without placing blame. For example, you might say, "I've been feeling overwhelmed in our friendship, and I think it's best for both of us if we take a step back." This approach allows you to assert your needs while respecting the other person's feelings. But how do you find those supportive connections that will uplift you? It starts with being intentional in your actions. Seek out communities and groups that align with your values and interests. Whether it's a book club, a sports team, or a volunteer organization, immersing yourself in environments where positivity thrives can lead you to like-minded individuals. Remember, the goal is to surround yourself with those who not only share your passions, but also encourage your growth. As you transition to these new connections, practice gratitude. Express appreciation for those who support you, whether through kind words, small gestures, or quality time. Gratitude fosters deeper bonds and encourages others to reciprocate the positivity. A simple thank you can go a long way in strengthening relationships and creating a nurturing network. Reflecting on this journey of evaluating relationships, it's evident that the process can lead to significant emotional benefits. By recognizing toxic dynamics and making the conscious decision to let go, you open yourself to a life filled with joy, support, and genuine connections. Remember the power of choice. You have the ability to shape your social circle and, in turn, your emotional landscape. Ultimately, the question remains: are your relationships nurturing your growth or holding you back? As you ponder this, allow yourself the freedom to let go of what no longer serves you. Embrace the possibility of healthier, more fulfilling connections that encourage you to thrive. In doing so, you'll not only transform your relationships, but also enrich your overall life experience. Letting go can be one of the most challenging yet liberating experiences in life. It often feels like an emotional tightrope walk, where the fear of losing something familiar weighs heavily against the desire for personal growth and healing. This journey is not just about severing ties. It's about reclaiming your emotional well-being and moving towards a more fulfilling existence. Imagine a scenario. You've invested years in a friendship that once brought you joy, but has since become a source of stress and negativity. You find yourself dreading interactions that once excited you. The initial thrill of companionship has been replaced by a heaviness in your heart. This emotional burden can overshadow your daily life, making it hard to focus on your dreams and aspirations. Recognizing that it's time to let go is the first step in reclaiming your happiness. Start by acknowledging your feelings. It's essential to understand that it's perfectly okay to feel a mix of sadness, anger, and relief. Each emotion is a valid part of the process. Think of it like shedding layers of an old skin. It may be uncomfortable, but is necessary for new growth. You can validate your emotions by journaling about your experiences or speaking to a trusted friend. This practice can help clarify your feelings and provide a sense of release. Once you've acknowledged your feelings, create a plan for distancing yourself gradually. It doesn't have to be a dramatic cutoff. Rather, consider it more like a gentle drifting away. This might mean reducing the frequency of your interactions or setting boundaries on certain topics that drain your energy. For instance, if your friend frequently brings up negative experiences that leave you feeling depleted, you can steer conversations towards more positive subjects or simply excuse yourself when the negativity arises. Surrounding yourself with supportive people is crucial during this process. Seek out those who genuinely care about your well-being and can help you navigate this transition. Positive influences can act like a safety net, cushioning you as you take the brave step of letting go. Engage in activities that align with your values, such as joining a community group or participating in hobbies that uplift you. Not only will this broaden your social circle, but it will also enhance your mood and self-esteem. As you move through this process, you might wonder, how do I know I'm making the right decision? Reflect on how you feel after interactions with the person you're letting go. Do you feel lighter, or do you feel weighed down? A healthy relationship should foster growth, joy, and mutual support. If you consistently feel drained or anxious, it's a telling sign that your emotional investment may not be reciprocated. Consider the story of Sarah, who found herself in a friendship that had turned toxic. Initially, Sarah and her friend bonded over shared interests and laughter, but over time, their conversations shifted to constant complaints and criticisms. Sarah felt increasingly drained after each encounter, and a sense of dread would wash over her as they planned to meet. One day, after a particularly exhausting conversation, she realized she could no longer ignore the toll it was taking on her mental health. Sarah decided to take action. She began to distance herself gradually, opting for shorter meetings or suggesting group outings where her friend's negativity could be diluted by the presence of others. As she did this, she sought solace in her other friendships and pursued hobbies that brought her joy. Over time, she felt a renewed sense of energy and purpose. The transformation was profound. She learned to appreciate the value of uplifting relationships and the importance of prioritizing her emotional well-being. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring about the person. It means you recognize that your happiness must come first. It's about choosing to prioritize your mental health over a relationship that no longer serves you. As you navigate this journey, remind yourself that every step you take towards letting go is a step towards healing and personal growth. You might also be considering the fear of loneliness that often accompanies letting go. This is a natural concern. However, remember that loneliness is often a temporary state. As you create space in your life, you will find that new opportunities and connections will arise. The universe tends to fill voids with experiences and people that align better with your evolving self. Embracing the process of letting go can be incredibly empowering. It's a declaration of self-love and respect. You're not only saying goodbye to negativity, but also making room for positive experiences that can enrich your life. As you start this journey, keep in mind the importance of self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay to have moments of doubt or sadness. What's crucial is that you stay committed to the vision of a happier, healthier you. As we conclude this exploration of letting go, reflect on your own relationships. Are they nurturing your growth, or are they holding you back? The journey of letting go is ultimately a journey of self-discovery. It's about learning to recognize your worth and surrounding yourself with those who uplift you. You have the power to shape your emotional landscape. By choosing to let go of what no longer serves you, you open the door to a world filled with potential and joy. In this journey, remember that you are not alone. Many have walked this path and emerged stronger and more fulfilled. Take the leap of faith, let go, and watch as the space you create fills with opportunities for new connections and experiences that resonate with your true self. Stay committed to your emotional well-being, and you will find the supportive connections you seek. Building healthy connections is crucial for our emotional well-being and overall happiness. When we surround ourselves with supportive individuals, we create an environment where we can thrive, grow, and experience genuine joy. But what does it truly mean to cultivate these healthy relationships? It starts with understanding the kind of people we want in our lives and actively seeking out connections that uplift us. Imagine a scenario where you're at a gathering surrounded by people who drain your energy. You engage in small talk, but when you leave, you feel exhausted, as if the life has been sucked out of you. Now contrast that with a different situation. You're spending time with friends who make you laugh, inspire you, and encourage you to pursue your dreams. The difference in how you feel is stark. Healthy connections can transform our experiences and contribute positively to our mental health. So, how do we find these uplifting people? Start by engaging in communities that resonate with your values and interests. This could mean joining a local club, participating in workshops, or even exploring online communities that align with your passions. When you immerse yourself in places where people share your interests, you naturally create opportunities for meaningful interactions. For instance, if you love painting, joining an art class not only hones your skills, but also connects you with fellow art enthusiasts who can share your experiences and support your growth. As we navigate these connections, practicing gratitude and expressing appreciation is vital. When we acknowledge the positive impact someone has on our lives, we deepen our bond. For example, imagine you have a friend who always listens to your problems without judgment. A simple message expressing your gratitude for their support can strengthen your relationship. These small acts of appreciation cultivate a sense of belonging and reinforce the idea that you value and cherish the connection. But let's address a common concern. What if you're struggling to find these positive influences? It can feel daunting, especially if your current social circle is filled with negativity. However, remember that change begins with you. Reflect on your interests and values. When you're clear about what you want, it becomes easier to identify communities and individuals that align with those desires. Consider Sarah, a young woman who found herself in a toxic friend group that left her feeling unappreciated and drained. After recognizing the negative impact on her mental health, she decided to take action. She joined a local hiking group where she met like-minded individuals who shared her love for nature and adventure. Over time, she cultivated friendships that not only uplifted her, but also encouraged her to step outside her comfort zone. This transformation was not instantaneous. It took time and effort, but the rewards were profound. The journey of building healthy connections is ongoing. It requires patience and vulnerability. As you invest in these relationships, you may encounter challenges, such as miscommunications or differing expectations. It's essential to navigate these situations with openness. If a friend does something that bothers you, consider addressing it calmly, rather than letting resentment build. Healthy relationships thrive on honest communication, which fosters understanding and strengthens bonds. Transitioning from negative to positive relationships can also mean letting go of those that no longer serve you. This process can be painful but necessary. Reflect on the relationships in your life. Do they uplift you, or do they leave you feeling drained? If you find that certain connections are predominantly negative, it may be time to distance yourself. This doesn't mean cutting people out entirely, but rather creating healthy boundaries that prioritize your well-being. Let's return to Sarah's journey. As she developed new friendships, she found it increasingly difficult to maintain connections with her old friends who remained stuck in negativity. Instead of feeling guilty, Sarah recognized that she had the right to prioritize her mental health. By gradually distancing herself from those toxic relationships, she created space for new connections that enriched her life. As you cultivate healthy connections, remember the importance of surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge you to grow. Seek out mentors or role models who inspire you, pushing you to become the best version of yourself. These relationships can provide invaluable guidance and support as you navigate life's challenges. To further enhance your connections, consider engaging in acts of kindness, both towards yourself and others. When you treat yourself with compassion, it radiates outward, encouraging those around you to do the same. This ripple effect fosters a positive atmosphere that attracts uplifting individuals. Finally, let's reflect on the ultimate goal. Are your relationships nurturing your growth or holding you back? This question can serve as a guiding principle in your journey toward building healthy connections. When you evaluate your relationships regularly, you can make conscious decisions that align with your values and aspirations. Cultivating healthy connections is a transformative journey that requires intention and effort. By actively seeking out relationships that uplift you, practicing gratitude, and embracing open communication, you create a supportive environment that fosters your growth. Remember, the path may have its challenges, but the rewards of nurturing positive relationships are immeasurable. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire, uplift, and genuinely care for your well-being, and watch as your life flourishes in ways you never imagined possible. Keep striving for connections that enrich your life, and soon enough, you'll find yourself in a circle of positivity, growth, and unyielding support.